Hello Year 3, I'm here to talk you through your maths this week. We're looking at statistics and going to be focusing on pictograms, tables and bar charts. First of all, I'm going to talk you through this pictogram. So a pictogram represents the number values by using pictures. First thing you need to do always is look at the key. So in this case, one picture equals 2 Smarties. So each one of these is worth 2. So you're going to be counting up using your 2 times tables. Now we know that, our first question says, how many orange Smarties are there? So I'm going to count 2, 4, 6, 8 and write 8 next to my question. Then it says, what is the value of the half Smartie? By that, I mean the ones that look like this on the table. So if I know the whole Smartie is worth 2, I need to halve 2 or divide by 2. So 2 divided by 2 is 1. Our last question is the trickiest question. This one we need to do in a couple of steps. And it says, how many more red Smarties do I have than pink? So first of all, I'm going to go and count my red Smarties. So 2, 4, 6, 8. Next, I'm going to go and count my pink Smarties. 2, 4, 6. Then I'm going to work out the difference between the two. So if I start at 6 and count on to 8, 7, 8. So I know that the difference between them is 2. Now I'd like you to look at the questions for today and have a go at them, remembering all of what I've said here, and it's really important that you look at the key. And now I'm going to move on to Wednesday's learning, which is on bar charts. So bar charts collect data using bars of different heights, which have gaps between them. They have 2 axes, which are these lines here, which show the data. Before we create the bar chart, the data is often collected in something like this, which is a table. So it helps you to draw your graph by, first of all, thinking, what scale should I use? So here you can see that there is a pattern with my numbers here. All of my numbers are in the 5 times table. So my scale I'm going to use is 5. So I'm going to go up in 5s. So this is my graph that I presented earlier. You can see I've gotten up in 5s along here. And along the bottom, I've written the different types of fruit, making sure I'm keeping that gap in between my bars. So now if I go back to my table, you can see 35 people liked apples. So now I'm going to start to fill this in using a ruler on my chart. So I'm going to apples, 35, I mark the line, and then I come down for apples. And I carry on doing this for all of the data that's in the table until I get something that looks like this, which is my completed bar chart. Then with this, I can help see which is the most popular fruit, which is always going to be the longest or the tallest bar. You can also see which is the least popular fruit, which is always going to be the smallest or the shortest bar, which in this case is grapes. You might also get some questions that say things like, what is the total of oranges and bananas? So you can say here 30 people liked oranges. When you go to bananas and along, 10 people liked bananas. So 30 plus 10 gives you 40. Some people like to use a ruler to make sure that they're not looking down with their eyes and they're going along, which is absolutely fine. It might be a little trick to help you there. So now I'd like you to please look at the worksheet for today and the questions. There is a challenge question at the end for you to draw your own bar graph. So you might want to refer back to the video if you're going to have a go at that. Now I'm going to move on to Thursday's learning, which is about tables. We're focusing on two-way tables. So this means the data can be read this way, so vertically and horizontally. So if we look along at the rows this way, we can see males, so men, and women. If you look at the columns going down, you can see the type of sport they like to watch. So our first question says, how many males play basketball? So I need to look at the male row and go along until I get to the column that focuses on basketball. And we can see there that the answer is going to be 22. The next question asks, how many females play football and baseball? So I'm going to have to look at two numbers here. So females, and I'm going along to football, which is 12. And then it says baseball. So I'm going back to females and along to baseball, and it says 45. So I'm going to do 12 plus 45, which gives me 57. Then the last question says, how many more females play baseball than males? So I'm going to look at females. I'm going to go along to baseball, and I can see it says 45. Then I'm going to look at males and go along to baseball, and I can see it says 15. So now to work out how many more, I'm going to take 15 away from 45, which should give me the answer of 30. Now I'd like you to look at the questions for today on two-way tables. There are some challenging ones in there, particularly the ones at the end. So don't panic too much. But if you are really struggling, please pop an email to your teacher who will be happy to help you. Good luck with all of your questions.